Nice. Right, just waiting for my notes to print off, and then we'll be getting into it. Obviously, a lot of people asking the same old question. Hang on. It's 5 to 7 on a Monday night. What you up to? Well, I just decided that I couldn't necessarily do the live yesterday at 8 because motorway madness. So there's so much going on that we needed to have a conversation this evening. We might even have a conversation tomorrow evening, and we're definitely having a conversation at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. So I thought that we'd get stuck into it. There may be some regulars here that are kind of a bit, as Amalia says, a little discombobulated. I can't get that. I completely get that. But I've been away on a working with a charity this weekend. So for 4 days, I kind of didn't know what was going on. No, well, I did, kind of. But I just thought there's so much going on. We have an evil, caring, understanding 90s type seemingly running this country. Well, we're just going to have a chat, aren't we? There's a man that likes shagging Ford Escorts, seemingly made in Ukraine. Which from what I'm hearing, and the source of this is not always accurate, let me tell you, she was the one that named a certain radio presenter in the Hugh Edwards story, and that was wholly untrue, and that video was taken down, so you can't always trust what you hear. But anyway, Sniffy has recommended a beautiful model of a Ford Escort to drive around in London, because you know what it's like when you're driving around in London. It's made, it's all a race, everybody's off their tits on gear and everybody's mad, including people that go on trains, seemingly. Off their tits on gear. Technical term. So let me just, oh hello, let me just, we'll get into the parish notes. It might, right, okay, get it. So, what we're going to talk about tonight? Oh, well, we're going to talk about that caring, understanding 90s type that, well, he likes doing it by the back door. I'm talking about rejoining Europe. I'm going to give you an explanation as to the backdoor starmer, because he's not taken our opinion to heart. And he's just doing what the bloody hell he wants. Oh, don't worry, I'm going to give you more money. Fuck off, mate. Fuck right off. You fuck the pensioners, you fuck the disabled, you're fucking everybody else in this country, and oh, you're being a nice guy on a train. Had a way and shite. Foxtrot Oscar, you useless piece of shit. Fucking Keir Starmer have shit more intelligent stuff. Shall we get to your comments? I'll just, I'll try. Oh, man. This is interesting. Let's just see if that works. What the bloody hell? Oh, it'll be that then. So, Amalia's first in the house this evening. Oh, bloody hell. Technical term. Live today. I'm all discombobulated. What a great word. What, live, Amalia? Welcome, Amalia, to the body of the Kirk. Miranda Sky, sorry, Manda. Notice how the adrenaline just kind of kicks in. It's potty mouth time. And well, I just get, that's why I wanted to do a live tonight, because I'm just angry at the fetid state of this country because of these useless, inept clowns that think they're better than us. Well, let me tell you, Kia, mate, your fucking son's going, the first one, he's going to have his boots on the ground in Ukraine, because I'll guarantee you this, not a single other person will send their progeny, their sons and daughters, or their siblings out to Ukraine for you when you're doing your Charlie shit on trains, when you're driving around London in a Ford Escort. Was it a Ford? Or was it an Escort? Anyway, they, and you, anybody that watches this channel regularly knows what I have to do. just to get past it, because what can I say? Seemingly, there are certain people who shan't be named who have certain injunctions out against, mainstream media, and they've got the 77th on the case to eviscerate and wash everything that's going online, because the cunt knows we're onto him. That's Caring, Understanding 90s Type. That's the acronym, by the way. Full unconsenting carnal knowledge, if you want another one. So Manda Sky, can't wait for tonight, Adrian. Have a lovely day. Thank you, Manda. Yeah, we're going for it tonight. We have to. We have to. I mean, working with a charity for men that helps with men's kind of life, mental health, and trauma and stuff. And it was a privilege and an honour. If you need more information, just have a look at Mankind Project. It's there for all men. There are organisations for women. There's Women in Power and Women Within. So there are women empowerment organisations, and this is all about male mental health, because men need that kind of support in 2025. Let me tell you. Karen says, see you tonight, Adrian. Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. Welcome to the body of the cook. Stuart says, evening, Rev. I did a Jaeger bomb shop yesterday. Oh, no, that bloody wonder. My hibiscus is a different colour this evening. While you were away, because you were almost out, going to save them for Wednesday. But since you're live tonight, they can be open 2 days early. We love it. Thank you, Stuart. Welcome to the body of the cook. And PT Ham. Hello, all you wrong uns. And hello, Amalia. That's from PT Ham, Amalia. No R in Amalia, PT Ham. You got it right the first time. Andy Turner, anyone see that trip? The Eurovision. Funny how we get no public vote and not liked, but people love coming here to take our money and our freebies. Or is it because music is well, Andy, you're a regular viewer. You know what my take is on the brown stuff that purports to be music nowadays. It's not. It's, well, can you smell it? Can you smell that? Bullshit music. So welcome to the body of the Kirk, Andy. Or is it the music is a little brown? No, we're the best at it. Well, is it? Let's have a think about this. Once you got into stadium rock in the 80s, like the Stones and the Beatles, obviously biggest bands in the world for donkeys. And then we've got some of the rock stuff, Bowie and punk rock. The Americans want to say they invented punk rock, but they didn't. They had the Ramones, and they weren't exactly punk rock, were they? They were just lanky streaks of piss in shades. So technical term before you start. Well, this is not monetized. It would never be monetized. Let me just, if you see me right shoulder going up and down, it's just that I'm cleaning my glasses before you start. So I agree with you, Andy. I just agree with you. Sex Pistols were ours that just knocked the Ramones into a cocked hat. I mean, even if we put Ed Sheeran into Eurovision, which we might have to next year, if we don't win in Austria, well, you know, all these 4 German accents, they'll be invading Poland next. That's the Austrians, by the way. Talking about Eurovision, of course. I didn't see it, thankfully. I picked some of the papers up yesterday to have a quick flick through, and it was just can I give you my opinion on 3 females that have they represented us in Eurovision on Saturday, and all I can say, and you know how I feel if you're a regular about the shit music industry, is in my view they were shit. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't wear brown uniforms. I mean, we have had brown shirts in this country before. But it's just, I mean, it just goes to show how good we were when we came second to the Ukrainians. And we got loads of votes. But do you know something? I think it's just wannabe people that want to be famous and wannabe writers that want to have oh yes, I wrote a Eurovision winner. Well, we've not had a bloody Eurovision winner for, it must be at least 150 years. And I watched the voting, and I know the BBC must be desperate if they're saying, oh well, the BBC presenter, whose name I can't remember. This is going to go well tonight, obviously. Whose name I can't remember, who presents the chat show on a Friday evening, and he, fucking hell, literally one of the most famous men in the country, and I can't think of his name. He was stabbed when he was abroad, and then it was in the press and the media because he was stabbed. I can't. That's an age-old story. That's like an ancient story, but they're trying to. So I'm thinking, right, okay. This is what we call flooding the zone, flooding the media. Bagger me. Oh, sorry, we're back to Keir Starmer again. Bagger me. They're flooding the zone because they don't want us kicking off. You know why they don't want us kicking off, don't you? Because we're the best fighters in the world. We're the best fighters in Europe. We're the best fighters against anybody. Anybody want to take us on? Oh, come on. I'll get a car full of my family and take on fucking Europe. We did last time 70, 80 years ago, and look what happened then. Fucking French. No backbone. Fucking Germans. We beat them twice and got a World Cup out of them. Bastards. And also, sorry, potty mouth, I completely understand, but I'm so fucked off at the corruption in Europe. They only want our money and our fishing rights. Here, mate, Foxtrot Oscar, how do we end shape, man? Off you go. I'll get some of my mates. We'll just we'll have a little soiree into Europe, and we'll kick fuck out of them, said a spokesperson. Wasn't me. You couldn't see my lips move. And that's why I need to do another live tonight. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about tonight. You do. You know more than me because you've had 4 days of. It was working with the Mankind Project, and it's a charity. Is a privilege and an honour, and for kind of 4 days we're in this cocoon away from the universe, life, and everything. And then, sort of yesterday, I was driving home, thinking I can feel the tension, I can feel the chaos. I kind of know what's going on without reading the newspapers because we've got that caring, understanding 90s type in charge. We are going to have a few questions tonight. So it's going to be the usual live. Parish Notes didn't quite make it because, well, my anger kicked in. So my apologies for that. But it's. Are you not frustrated by this country? Are you not frustrated by the political classes who got a shoeing, an absolute kicking at the local council elections? They knew what was coming, and there's Sir Keir Starmer bent over double. Because we gave him a very simple message. We don't want you. We don't like you. We don't like the political classes. We don't like the shite that you're foisting on us. And now you're giving away our fishing rights. Look, mate, I pretty much understand that your dad was a tool maker. Well, what a shit fest he made of making a fucking tool that's running the country. And we're going to give away fishing rights because the French want to be in our waters. What? What? You notice how the French, they can't do anything. I mean, they can't even get a man and wife to be president. Just don't ask Sir Keir Starmer to say what a woman is. To tell you what a woman is. And it is reprehensible that these fools think they know what they're doing. Because you know what's coming, don't you? You know what's coming when Sir Keir Starmer is not necessarily quoting... I need more hibiscus. Standby caller. When Sir Keir Starmer is almost quoting Enoch Powell, I mean, rivers of blood. We know what's coming. We know. Hang on. Andy Turner says what? Paulie Gully, I'll just a couple of more welcomes and then we'll get into stuff because I also figure that the regulars to this channel are as angry as me at what's going on in this world because it's foolish. It's foolish. And have you seen that helmet? That's not Helmut, that's German. She's Austrian. Notice how the Austrians are now winners of Eurovision. They're going to host it next year, so we'll have a march. Have you noticed how Switzerland didn't get any points? Wonder why that is. That's where Davos is. Switzerland. Don't start yodeling at me. You bunch of corrupt bastards. And there's Tom Harney saying, evening, everyone. As a wrong philosopher once said, if Battenberg be the food of love, then you're at a very messy but fragrant party. Brilliant, Tom. Brilliant. Hang on. Des Ashton, and a very happy Monday evening to all you wrong-uns. Looking forward to the Rev's ranting sermon. How did you guess, Des? And Des says, Amalia sounds like she may be suffering from contrafibularity. Bloody hell, Des, what you been eating for dinner? Bloody dictionary. Oh, blimey, everybody's in the house. And we've got 111 viewers currently, so I'm going to have to do it standing on one leg. If you're a cricketer, you know what I'm talking about. Bieta, a revolution maybe. Lauren Taylor says, frustration doesn't even come close. Chris has killed that one. Les Griffiths, he might not know what a woman is, but I would wager good money he knows what a ladyboy is. Les, he knows what a Ford Escort is. Seemingly, Zelensky recommended it. The Ford Escort. And because, and let me tell you this, you know how this game works. You know how there's a story and they arrest somebody, look at Southport, and they go, right, you can't Buck says, the world is a shambles. Damn right. And I'm going to talk about Joe Biden, President Shitty Pants, and President Brown Trousers. And seemingly he's got awful cancer. Oh, fuck me! On the day that they're saying, oh, he said this in an interview, and the audio's out there, they go, yeah, he's an ill man. We'll talk about Joe Biden's cancer. Yes, it's treatable, seemingly. This is a man that gets a full MOT every month, or did. Top of 69 says, Adrian, how many rent boys can one man have? I've been to see the Lady Boys of Bangkok. It's an unusual name, Lady Boy and Bangkok being in the same sentence. But part of the Edinburgh Fringe, they were there years and years and years and years. And I went and they were, I looked at them and went, no, that's definitely a bloke. Aidan Wellsmith, 2's company, 3's a crowd, 4's a gangbang, 5 or more's an orgy. Blimey, Aidan, good to see where your head is. Bless you. Sandra Whittam says, hello, 5 days to Wembley. Sandra, couldn't get tickets. I've got family members that are season tickets, and what did the club do? They gave the tickets out to the non-season ticket holders, and it's been a right shit fest. So season ticket holders couldn't get the tickets. Lauren Taylor, Nelson, 111. Shep always stood on one leg. Happy days. Who? What? Hey? Les Griffiths, Ladyboy Bangkok is not as bad as Ladyboy and Fuck It. Especially when they... oh, no, I can't say that. Hang on. Yes, so, as I was going to say, I need me pen just in case I need to make notes. As I said about Southport, they frighten everyone into going, oh, can't say that. But the courageous of us said it anyway and ended up in jail. One poor guy lost his life. Whatever happened to Nicholas Brown MP? Chris, they won't let you know. They won't tell you because Nick Brown is, he was, touch your toes, you dirty bastard. That's not Chris, that's MPs. That, as I've told you, my spanking rent boys with table tennis bat story of an MP that suddenly reappeared in my life. Sandra Whittam. I got told 1 tickets per season, tickets and membership. Yes, but Sunderland, as per usual, have made a right utter arse of it. Aidan Wellsmith, still a secret. Yeah, so we're not allowed. We're not allowed to talk about it legally because then the process of law, it won't be seen to be done. But I'm not talking about anything to do with the process of law. I'm talking about an MP. I'm talking about the Prime Minister. I'm talking about a man that is seemingly at the top of the food chain in this country, if you remove the royals. And I'm not suggesting we do, considering what happened in Russia. Les Griffiths, didn't Nick Brown pass away? Well, he's either gone soft or he's stiff, Les. But from what we know, greetings, says Hayden. Welcome. So you're not coming down then, says Sandra Whittam. I haven't got any tickets. As much as I love you to bits, Sandra, I'm not coming all the way down to Wembley to stand on Wembley Way to see somebody for 2 minutes, because if you've got tickets, you'll be off ski. You'll be off to see the match. I mean, I am going to try and be there and try and... Because literally there's 300,000 people in Sunderland and everybody's trying to get tickets. Everybody's trying to get tickets, even the kids, just to get rid of their parents. David Shepherd, international umpire, cricket score 1-1-1, known as Nelson. Oh, Lauren, I just knew that it gets to 1-1-1 or 2-2-2 or 3-3-3. You got to stand on one leg. David Shepherd here. That was a character, though. Do you want to... Can I brag about this? I was captain of a cricket team for a few seasons, the TFM cricket team, and we used to have a 20 overs match every Wednesday, and we won a few trophies against varying. We won a few trophies. I had some fantastic games, but my best, I'll give you my best and my worst. My best bowling figures were 5 for 5 off 2 overs. So it was pretty bloody, and it was just brutal. And then there was an Australian guy turned up as a ringer for one of the matches. Oh God, he was one of the 2 brothers that played for New Zealand in the 80s, and as a team, we were very competitive to see who was going to have the best bowling figures for the end of the year. And as captain, it was like cannon fodder. I just couldn't throw some of my bowlers up against really good players, because then they just get twatted all over the park. So I did 1 over against, I can't remember his name. Thank you for that. I'll get to that in a second. And first ball, bowled down, medium pace, bit of spin, bang, 6. Oh well, that's how it goes. Second ball, sent it down, a bit of off spin, but a little bit faster, bang, 6. He got a 4 on the 6th ball because I think he felt sorry for me. He banged 5 6s off 5 balls of mine. And all the lads were like, I'm so glad you got that, Adrian. I'm so glad, because it's not going to affect my end of season. No, I wasn't the best bowler by any stretch. But I had to protect my players because I didn't want their heads going down and it destroying their season. Not only 1-1-1, one eye, one arm, one leg, hence the hopping around on one leg. Oh, Nelson. Brilliant. Honestly, that bit of... I'll use it in one of the quizzes. People asking about what this pending strike is all about. Oh, there's going to be hell to pay for what they're doing. I am going to get to it in a minute. Brilliant, Les. Says, I could be mistaken, Adrian, largely due to the fact that I couldn't give a shite about politics. Could have been Rolf Harris, Jake with his extra leg. Got a few mates like that. You know what I'm talking about. General strike on the Saturday of a bank holiday weekend will be as effective as a chocolate teapot, says Des. Is that when they're looking for the general strike? On the day off? On Shabbat, so none of the Jews will work anyway. Cuban Pete, what are you saying? Oh, I see you. Right, okay, got it. And so we're going to talk about Diddy. We're going to talk about Starmer. We're going to talk about the Royals. Oh, it's the 7th anniversary of the gruesome twosome. We're going to talk about the EU. We're damn right we're going to talk about the EU. We're talking about Gary Lineker, anti-Semite, a shrewd media manipulator. So we're going to talk about all that. I'm going to try and make it of some value to you. What did I say that was? And I'm going to quote Sir Keir Starmer, because I've been looking at his ex before I came on air, so to speak. Oh, very good English bottle cap. It's 222, the full Nelson. Oh, wrestling on a Saturday afternoon. It was the nation's favourite, Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks. Oh, how are you, lads? Aye, how are you? And it wasn't really wrestling. It was kind of showbiz and entertainment. So, welcome everybody to the Body of the Kirk, where everyone's getting their feet under the table, and hopefully the audience will grow. A lot of people will kind of know that the lives are on a Sunday and a Wednesday, so they just pitch up at 8 o'clock, going, "Oh, see that what that Rowan's going to go on about this evening." Hang on. Les Griffiths, the general strike will achieve nothing, just like that petition with 3.5 million signatures. I know, I agree, Les, but to a certain extent, the thing that really scares politicians, I mean, to the point where it cures their constipation, is the fact that they may be deselected in the next general election. Because everybody's like, yeah, all right then, have your fun, have however many years, but we'll just tell you, we've shown you with the local elections, and you had to duck and dive and do all the dodgy stuff the politicians do. We've got you in our metaphorical crosshairs, and we're going to get rid of you soon. That's why Starmer's going, oh, Jesus, do I have to do what I'm told to do now? Yes, Starmer, we're Austrian, and we're telling you to do as you are bloody told. Hayden, 20p, 50p, sixpence. Quite. Well, what can I say? His derriere is definitely putting like a rabbit's nose. Maybe that's why he needed to buy a Ford Escort. Because let's face it, if his mate's doing a whole heap of DAS, or GAC as it's known in the trade, then, he's going to be doing the same. The thing is, though, we'll get to that in a second. So I will, we're going to talk about Harry and the Dominatrix. And what I want to do is, I've been reading 4 days worth of newspapers today, including the Sundays, and that was definitely taking one for the team. But there's all this. Have you noticed Gary Lineker maybe in the news? I know. Have you not questioned why? I'll give you the bloody answer in just a minute. Ray Norton, Cat Weasel. Oh, Cat Weasel. Cat Weasel. I actually thought he was real, Cat Weasel. Hang on, what's that? Stuart says I was. Give me bloody thingy. Oh, right, okay. Right, okay. Stuart says, I was delighted when I checked YouTube earlier and seeing there was a live tonight. Oh, you're very kind, Stuart. You're very kind. I just, let's kind of start here. So anybody who wants to get used to the usual ribaldry and potty mouth time, they can start here, because I genuinely want to know your take on certain things, because there's a whole heap of stuff going on. And I do believe that Starmer literally doesn't care whether you live or die. I genuinely believe that Starmer does not believe that you, your parents, your grandparents, your children live or die. He literally does not care. All they're interested in is power and freebies. So we'll get to Starmer in just a moment, but I want to ask you a question. Because Jackie Pallo, yeah, with these, I see you. Jackie Pallo had a ponytail, did Jackie Pallo, and had a bow in it. What can I say? 2025, you wouldn't be. Aidan Wellsmith, exactly. Being sacked is part of it. The other bit is the newcomers investigating them. Les Keller, Mick McManus, Fab Saturday Evening Telly, says Des Ashton. And Stuart, oh, we've done that one, okay. Cat Weasel, he will see how people feel about him and his government. They will, Dreamer. This is, I do believe that politics is finished. the parasitical classes, and I've been telling you this for 2.5 years, that they don't care. They don't care whether you live or die. They're going to put laws in place, which means you might take something that's going to kill you, but you're doing it for the greater good, seemingly. And now we've got a man that shits his pants in public, who is they're saying, well, it's quite difficult, and it's very, 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 very. The word you're looking for is metastasized. Yeah, thick, ignorant, caring, understanding 90s types. Americans, honestly, have shit more intelligent stuff, and that goes for the whole of America, North America, because they wouldn't know what metastasized means. It's gone into his bones. He's never had a bone for 20 odd years unless there's a little girl gone past him so he can sniff her hair. He's never had one of those. Don't be stupid. Oh, Cuban Pete says, Kendo Nagasaki. Seemingly, we've got all the wrestling fans in this evening. So, first question. Because I've been looking at the way, for the last few months, I've been looking at the way that the media operate. Now, I've known how the media operate because I've been in radio for over 40 years. I've had some TV when John Leslie had all that hoo-ha going on. I nearly ended up with a Channel 5 chat show. I'll tell you the story sometime if you want. And actually, the guy that I was in contact with at the TV company that made the Matthew Wright chat show, Matthew Wright has no clue that I was invited in, was a guy called Jonathan Sacerdoshi, and he was on LBC Breakfast with Nick Ferrari this morning. I laughed. Bert Royal and Vic Faulkner, great days. Oh, well, they're tag team days. Derek Tomlinson says, great Saturday afternoon wrestling on World of Sport. Rollerball Rocco, Dave Finley and Pat Roach. Oh, remember Pat Roach? Yeah, he was in Full Monty, wasn't he? Acting and wrestling. You're definitely on the wrestling tip tonight. I reckon they know LIBOR are a one-term party, so they're going to do as much damage as they can in the time left to them. Les Griffiths, I think John Leslie was treated disgracefully. I'm with you, Les. Completely with you. Because it was, I think sadly what did for John was the cocaine. The reporting of the cocaine in the news of the world. And because the missus at the time is now in America. I mean, she made a shed ton of money from doing the lad mags. Kathy Harper, my sister, went to school with Vic Faulkner. Brilliant, Kathy. Aidan Wellsmith, who was the presenter of World of Sport. Dickie Davis, and he had the remember the grey bit at the front? It was called the Malin streak. Bad Wolf Project, Neil Cunningham Lineker is in talks with leading sports broadcaster in the USA. His negotiations started 3 weeks ago. Oh, I say, Bad Wolf Project. So, hang on. I need to get this in some semblance of order. Because you can see what's going on with the press. So let's start with observations about the mainstream media. They're just propagandists. Do not believe that you are being told the news. Do not believe that you are being told facts. Please do not believe anything in any newspaper, daily or otherwise, other than the price on the bloody front of it, because they'll never get that wrong. Top chat versus live chat, says English Bottle Cap. Oh, can you toggle between the two? So I believe that what I believe is happening with the mainstream media, they are controlled by the government, and they are controlled by the government by the advertising in the newspapers. The advertising ordinarily is shite. Want to buy these trousers? Yes. Do you want a tank top that's really being woven by virgins in Cuba that roll cigars on their inner thighs before they get a doing by their boyfriend? No. And do you want to go on a cruise? No, I couldn't think of anything worse, to be fair. I don't even want to go to Switzerland anymore, or Austria, although I have skied in Austria a few times. Great skiing, but now that Ursula von der Leyen bitch is kind of shagging us, technical term that we use in radio, and now that we're oh hello, the parakeets are back. Oi, gobshite. So the parakeets have come to say hello, by the way. I live in Africa. I know you didn't know that. Hayden, that's brilliant. Starmer dropping anchor in Pooh Bay. Well, he can't drop anchor in Pooh Bay whilst he's inside his Ford Escort. BBC received 3.3 million from a foreign entity. Yeah, that was BlackRock, Les. Did you know that? It was BlackRock. BlackRock own everything. They own the politicians. They own the BBC, the state broadcaster, the propagandists, the left-wing anti-Semite propagandists. They own them. Everybody. The Bad Wolf Project. I have felt the rains down in Africa. That is a euphemism. Not me hair. Neil Cunningham says, don't say gobshite, AA. Alexa will answer you. I switched her off. I turned her off. I just said to her, I don't love her anymore. Aidan Wellsmith, Starmer has gagging orders on lots of people. Fanar. Guess I didn't get the memo. Les Griffiths says, I knew, but YouTube keep preventing me saying it. Of course, Les. We're going to have to use code. That's the way to do it. So jibber jabber obviously means... So that's why we call it the jibber jabber. And we know that a Ford Escort is a car. Motor car. Can't do anything about it. It's a Ford Escort. Do they make Ford Escorts in Ukraine, or do they just give us the main body parts? Starmer does a lot of gagging. I'm sure he does, but that's, well, maybe. Oi, that was a great gag. That definitely would have got me in jail. Starmer clearly doesn't pay his tradesmen. The Labour Party need to get to the bottom of this, says Aidan Wellsmith. Should we just do euphemisms tonight? Beata says, my brother and I were always fighting for the TV on Saturdays. He wanted the wrestling and I wanted to watch Play Away. He always won because he was older. Play Away. Isn't that what politicians do to their wives while they're at home in lockdown? Just saying. Friends asking. Les Griffiths, how is Lammy still in the job? Because he just takes everything as a freebie, including taxis. Just £10,000 per week will keep multimillionaires, Keir and his wife in clothes. 75 grand a month will keep them warm in that apartment and stop them from becoming homeless. Unless, of course, one of your mates has got a key to number 10 Downing Street and just kind of wanders in every now and again just to, see how government's going, just to pop in to see me mate and have a cup of tea and an orange club biscuit or 3. Brilliant. The Bad Wolf Project is on form this evening. The body of the Kirk needs to be aware that the Bad Wolf Project has said that song by the 80s ska mod rockers Madness, I've been dogging in my car. That gets us past anything legal. Les Griffiths, they make Ford public cars in Poland from old Corsairs. Oh, we're back to Malta again, are we? Hayden says, don't mention Playway to Jeremy Irons. Hates it being mentioned, but who remembers the great Brian Cant? Well, Brian could, not Cant, as in, well, it depends how you pronounce it. It depends what your accent is. But Brian Cant from the South is a caring, understanding 90s type. Aidan Wellsmith, Lammy's case is being spun. Foxtrot Oscar, that's Foreign Office, said €570, but the actual bill was €1,306. Who paid the difference? Well, Lammy definitely didn't. And the taxi driver still got his case. Can you imagine? Here, can we get this case open? What will we find in there? What will we find? David Lammy took on his holidays. Comments in the live chat, please. Was it full of reparation money? Was it full of, well, he's part of Parliament, so there's hundreds of, 650 dildos in Parliament. Did he take any with him on holiday? Lammy as a witness. Can you imagine? Mr. Creosote, would you like a wafer thin mint? No, actually, yeah. Lammy as a witness. Wish we were allowed to post rude jokes. Les, just post them, but just change the naughty bits, the rude bits, because I've probably heard the gag before, and I can relay it on here because it's not monetized. So we literally can say anything we want. I want to ask you first question. Are you ready? Fastest fingers first. Question 1 of this evening. And I will preface this by saying I'm sick and tired of David fucking Beckham. I'm sick and tired of the bullshit. He's a weft puppet. I've told you this time and time and time again. Please, David Beckham is a weft puppet. He was there in January receiving an award from the World Economic Forum. How ball deep do you have to go to say that David Beckham is now just a patsy? Because he's desperate for a knighthood. He will do anything, including Victoria, for a knighthood. And she's with him. Oh, lady, posh, fuck off. Does it not get you mad? Does it not get you spitting feathers? That they are being used, but they're also using the establishment because, well, he's tried every which way. He's tried beekeeping. He's tried his own food in the garden. He's tried being nice and helped us get the 2012 Olympics. He's tried every which way. Sorry, I'll tell you the Bad Wolf Project's joke in a minute because it's fabulous. It's just... As a footballer, well, he cost us World Cups. The Manchester United fans, they had effigies that they were hanging when he went back to play for Manchester United. This man is not all that he seems. It's all PR and bullshit. He's like worth hundreds of millions, seemingly $400 million, not pounds. He's got football teams. He's got everything that he wants except a knighthood. King Charles has a committee that decides on stuff. And the committee, he sent some really petulant little emails. And they've just gone, oh, no, don't. So technically what you're supposed to do is friends and or colleagues are supposed to submit it for you. And he got the award at the World Economic Forum in Davos for his philanthropy through world football. We know another philanthropist. I'm not suggesting that David Beckham does this, but Bill Gates is a philanthropist. He's the second most evil man on the planet next to Sir Keir Starmer. I mean, he does make Sir Keir Starmer look like an amateur, to be fair. Ray Norton says, what has Mr. Kipling and Starmer got in common? They both fill brown donuts with cream. Oh, I've just thought of something. Do you know what Sir Keir Starmer ate on that train journey with President Macron? Well, he had to fill Macron's pain au chocolat first. Should we send him some Battenberg? Aidan Wellsmith. Oh, right, okay. Starmer's favourite treats are hobnobs. Aidan says, plain or chocolate? Well, there's three kinds now, Aidan. There's actually, you can have a white hobnob, you can have a plain hobnob, or you can have a chocolate hobnob. Either way, he's got to get them in through the back door, because when I get to what he said today about the EU, I mean... So, Beckham, I prefaced the subject because I do believe he's now a weft puppet. They're just going to manipulate him because they know he's desperate for a knighthood. And there's the king, weft up to his bollocks, and he'll turn around and go, no. The committee that looks at things such as that, the awards committee, well, he sent petulant emails, which is why he's never going to get it. So long as he's alive and he's trying his damnedest every which way to ingratiate himself with Charles the Weak. Hell, I say. Did you see Camilla holding her growler in the papers today? Now, one, as far as I'm concerned, the Queen, the mighty Queen Elizabeth II, said she could be Queen Consort. I'm not even going to use Queen Consort. She, in my eyes, she's not even a queen. He's a king. Queen, Graham Norton. King, Charles the Weak. And... the English ball cap. The committee of the Wheel Tappers and Shunters Social Club voted for a night out, not for a knighthood. That's the gag of the night so far, but I was going to... Which one I was... Free Gear Starmer, purveyor of the finest pharmaceutical products to the rich and famous, a holder of a royal warrant. As long as he blows his nose. No! So if you're in the chat, a very, 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 Geo, you're utter wrong. Remember the story I told you, getting absolutely blooted in a house in Nottingham. Well, the wine was known as the Leone wine. And Gio's just said, "Great to see you, my friend. Your congregation know you drink red wine like a southerner." I said, "Sip it," but you went for it, and 60 minutes later, you were running around the close naked, you legend. See, everything that I tell you is corroborated somewhere, and thank you to Geo, it's corroborated that I ran around the close of some houses shouting, "I'm buck naked! I'm buck naked!" And Geo couldn't do anything for wetting himself laughing. Neither could Darren Fletcher, for that matter. It was Darren Fletcher's house. So Geo has corroborated the legendary story, but it didn't end there. The girl that I was seeing at the time, I had quite a large car, being a size queen, obviously. She'd never driven one that big before, so she struggled to get me home. It was fine, she was sober. I was the one that was sticking my head out the window, just throwing up all the way down the side of my my large car. And it got to, must have been balmy, so it was in the summer sometime, and it got to the end of the year and they had a Christmas party. Isn't that right, Gio? They had a Christmas party for the close, and one of them said, "Darren, do you know that chap that was running around the close naked shouting, 'I'm buck naked'?" It's a quote from Hill Street Blues. "I'm buck naked." And Darren said, "I've no idea who you're talking about." That killed the story, obviously. Les Griffiths. Oh, very clever, Les. Adrian, they said Savile would never get a knighthood, obviously. So I'm going to ask you, Gio, shh. I'm going to ask you a question. Stop laughing, I can hear you from here. The question I'm going to ask is about David Beckham. And again, I'm going to give you this as an inside. They're talking about the Beckham family, and Brooklyn's in the house. He's not in the house anymore. He's now a married man, and he's moved to America. And his missus is part of a very, 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 very wealthy family. And so he's married. When a man marries, he marries a family. He doesn't just marry the lady that he's marrying. No. So if there's any shit being flying in the Beckham household, he's just gone, "Oh, here, lads, how do we end shite, man?" Technical term, obviously. And if Nicola Peltz has got him in both hands, then she's saying, "Darling, don't. We don't need them. We've got our own money. We can do whatever we want. You're going to be a chef." "Oh, yeah, mate, a great cheese toasty." "Well, exactly, darling. You can be a chef. You can do anything you want." "Oh, lovely. Right, touchy toast, darling." And families, you can choose your friends, but not your family. So, look, if Beckham's going to be petulant when he didn't get a knighthood, then who knows what's going on in that family. But here's the deal. Now you've got Harry and Meghan, 7th wedding anniversary, and they're trying to give these kids marriage guidance or family advice. This is from the two people. So Meghan just hide her family under the bus. "Oh, sorry, Dad. Oh, you got you're ill? Right. Bye." And then she don't speak to any of her family now, and she's trying to give family advice. And there's Harry. Look at his family. Jesus, they're running to the hills to get away from him because they don't know what he's going to repeat in the next book. So these two morons are trying to give familial advice to a couple who were just, we're just kids, man. We're just married, man. Leave us alone. But what it does, it keeps Beckham on the front page. And they've eked this story out for bloody weeks and months. Oh, it's David Beckham's 50th birthday, right? Yeah, and, well, he's fallen out, him and his missus, posh Victoria. They've fallen out with their son, right? And do you know how many families up and down the country fall out with their kids? "Oh, go on, Dad. Lend us 50 quid, man." "No, "Oh, go on, 50 quid, man. I just want to go out on the lash with the lads. 50 quid won't buy you a single pint nowadays." And Yeah, Reg. Yes. Hang on. I'm just giving you context. I am going to ask the question. Oh, Reg D. Always a critic. So I've given you the context, the understanding. Question. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, Agincourt 2. Are you interested in the Beckham family and their bloody soap opera? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm asking because I'll give you more Beckhams if you want. Fucking hell. What was delivered by Amazon? New baby, Stuart, 63. Should have said 69, Stuart. Has more impact. No, says Sandra Whittam. Penny Hen, I mean, literally everybody's voted 2. So, should we just laugh at them? Should we just laugh at Posh and her plastic tits? Technical term? People have asked her. Because you know how you can tell when somebody's had a boob job, as a little aside. English bottle cap, you're a gent and a scholar. He says there 2. But interested in your take on the matter. So, women that have boob jobs, what they don't tell you is that they've got to be replaced every 10 years. What they also don't tell you is, like, it looks like Mount Vesuvius mirrored, because there's a massive valley between the two. Now, ordinarily, you know, as a heterosexual male, I do have some understanding of such things. Well, they kind of, you know, the bigger they get, the more they spread under the armpits. That's not me denigrating any women, because women are always beautiful, no matter, including Victoria. I didn't think she was much of a singer, to be fair, but they're out on tour 2026, possibly. So it looks like, in my view, Posh has had a boob job. Now, the Manchester United supporters used to sing Posh Takes It Up the Arse. That was a song that they used to sing. I'm not suggesting she does or doesn't, but that was the song that the Manchester United fans used to sing. Posh Takes It Up the Arse. And there was a chapter in... Right. Code. What do you do with a wine bottle when it's finished? The wine, that is. Don't ask Gio. The Leone wine is nuclear. Well, God, I love that, Gio. I love the Leone wine. 1 glass, otherwise you're going to be running around the close naked. Right, I'm just trying to work out how I can get this. So wine bottles, when they're empty, what are they? Empty wine bottles. And there was a story I once heard about someone who won't be named in any way, shape or form, and it's not connected to anything that I'm saying this evening or any of the characters, whether it's anybody at all. But well, seemingly somebody was was playing with this glass bottle, and the glass bottle broke whilst inserted up the Marmite motorway. And yeah, I know, Luke. I know. I've heard those stories. And well, said person had to be rushed to a hospital somewhere in the world because, well, there was a load of blood around. Spaniel's ears right on. Neil Cunningham, that's brutal, mate. That is brutal, but funny as. I'm looking. Have a look at the comments. Have a look there. And that story was put in a book about someone somewhere, sometime in the last 150 years. And there was legal stuff going on, and they had to get the chapter taken out of the book. Les Dawson and Roy Barraclough as Sissy and Ada knew all about some body parts becoming a struggle later in life. Brilliant. Punched. Cuban Pete punched lasagna, wizard sleeve, badly packed kebab. Yeah, Kaz, we've all heard the joke. Wrecked him, damn nearly killed him. Light bulbs, the technique, drill 2 holes in the bayonet, syringe and fill with plaster of Paris. Wait, apply KY, pop. Adam, you know far too much about this. And there's the Bad Wolf Project saying punching smoke. I think it's more like lasagna. I'm still recovering from Kinga's bottle performance. Me too, Soul Rebel, but it's similar. I've no idea who I was talking about. It just kind of appeared in my head, and it's obviously not true. No. Lauren Taylor, Mateus Rosé bottles that used to be made into lampshades in my day. Never by me, I hasten to add. Yes, those very round things. Aidan Wellsmith, sister-in-law, works in A&E. Oh, Aidan, well, you're giving us all an education this evening. So we're not interested in Beckham. We're not interested in. He's a businessman now. He's in. He's a weft puppet. We're not. But can you imagine the posh bird? I watched these. I don't know why I've returned to this. I think it's the Rolls-Royce quote. And did she do tell Aidan? Hang on a second. Oh, yes, aye. There's Griffiths. Rebecca Lewis giving that pig a 5-finger shovel made me puke. Didn't make David Beckham puke. She keeps popping up for money, so to speak. I think that TBT still uses those bottles as a starter. Brilliant. At least it wasn't Orangina bottle. Yeah, probably would have cracked. But the reason I'm telling you that story was it never made it into someone's book because of all the legal wrangles. Les Griffiths, I think Kinga couldn't find a bottle opener. She denied it, I mean, everybody watched it on the telly and it was like, Jesus, what are you doing, woman? Oh, I couldn't find the bottle opener. And no, I didn't do that. It was just a joke. It was just a joke. Blimey. Try filling that when you get married. Was it a bottle of Blue Nun? Hang on a second. Stuart says that's worse than the Battenberg story. You think? There was no wine left. At least with Battenberg, you get something to eat. Ray Norton, would an old Alpine bottle work? Try it, Ray, is all I can say. Les Griffith said, did you hear Lou's doing that wet fart in front of Callum Best? What was it? Was it queefing? Now, don't Google queefing if you're in polite company, because it's not... blimey, we might be upsetting Amalia. Hello all, bit of a treat alive tonight. You were in early, Amalia. So yes, I don't know whether it was... I'm going to tell you a story. You are completely and utterly distracting me tonight, but the stories are fantastic. So there was... I'm not going to name the newsreader, but the newsreader was very posh. I mean, very, very cut glass posh, but was a bit of a girl, seemingly. And that's not me judging. I'm just observing and commenting. And they actually used this story-ish in Drop the Dead Donkey, the TV series, all about a newsroom. And so what happened was she went away to do some filming. And on the film, on the location, as they do regularly in telly, they'll kind of go do some location work, do all the shooting and the sound, and take a crew and director and stuff. And then when they're done, they'll have a rap party. And that's not RAP, not like Diddy or Jay-Z or Eminem. It was more like a rap party where they just have loads of beer, loads of alcohol, loads of food on the production company, and everyone loves a bit of freebie at the end of the shoot. Except, word had gone round the crew that this very posh, very, very, very posh lady was married and having it away with one of the cameramen or one of the crew. And the two sound men thought, right, what we'll do? They made some excuse and they got into his bedroom, hotel bedroom, and they mic'd the whole room up for sound. So the rap party happened. They were all getting squiffy on the alcohol. They were all full of food. And, all of a sudden, very posh lady says, oh, I've had a really tough week. Right, I'm just early night, chaps. Early night. See you for the plane ride in the morning. It's been wonderful. It's been lovely. It's been just amazing. You're all wonderful. I love you all. You're all darlings. I'm going to bed. And about 10 minutes later, the cameraman. Oh, lads. Yeah, I can feel it in my bones. We've worked hard on this shoot. Let's just. I'm going to go to bed. I've had enough wine. I think I've had far too much. So I'm going to go to bed. Two sound men grabs a couple of bottles of wine, goes into the room, which just also happened to be next door because it was the cameraman's room and the two sound men's room, and they set the recorders going. Well, what can I say? They definitely weren't doing a gym workout in that bedroom. They were at it, so to speak. You know what I mean by at it, don't you? Yes. So this very posh lady was a bit of a potty mouth in that particular bedroom. But the zenith, the moment of glory, all happened when this very cut glass voice turned to the cameraman in delecto, whatever the term is in Latin. The very cut glass voice was heard to scream and was recorded by the sound men. Voice for legal reasons. Oh, bugger me! Fuck me till I fart! At which point the two cameramen just burst out laughing. The cameraman heard the two sound men next door, thinking, what are they doing next door? In flagrante delicto. Thank you. I knew you knew that. You know the Italian stuff. That was nice to be. No, it was. Yeah, it was. I heard it. Because a mate of mine who's not on the radio anymore. I think he's doing covers and stuff. Did you understand? No, it was definitely cameraman. There was two. My audio's gone. Shouldn't have. Let me just check. Hang on. Just as I was telling you. Okay. Let me just do this. Stand by. Don't move anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'll sort this out. Should be back. So let's. Hang on, Les Griffin says, I thought you were talking Welsh there for a minute. Touch the aim, Bob Sice. The Welsh will get it. I was told the other day not to say that. Oh, it's working. Right. Right. Rewind. Oh, we're dog sitting, by the way, again. Rewind, because I'm going to tell you the story. So, this, and I nearly mentioned her name, Jan Leeming. So, didn't see me lips move. So this TV presenter with a very cut glass English accent. Galactus, I was on another channel and the stream went down. I'm sure the presenter loved that. Is that my ex-wife downstairs barking? Yeah, I've got a tie to the fence post. I heard that she quite enjoyed that Bad Wolf Project. Ray Norton, dog barking again. I know. Just and they're like, you know, it's amazing what 6 inches in length can solicit. Great Stanley Unwin impression, Adrian. Right. Question. Is the sound working? Is it working sufficient so I can give you a shortened version of the fuck me till I fart story? Yes. Sound all good? Yes. Right. So, this very posh cut glass accent. So at the end of every telly shoot, if you go on location, at the end of the telly shoot, the talent thanks all the staff. Wonderful. Yes, enjoy the wine, enjoy the food. It's the production company's paying for it. Just fill your boots. Lovely. But it's been a long week. I need to go to bed. I need my beauty sleep, evidently. Going to bed. Oh, I'm so tired. I just need to go to my bed. See you all for the plane ride in the morning. Lovely. About 10 minutes later, 10 minutes later, the cameraman's like, oh, lads, oh, I'm knackered. I think I've had too much wine. Right, so I'm down at the bed. and have a good night. Finish off the wine and stuff and the food and the grog and everything. And I'll see you on the plane in the morning. Hopefully sober, but if not, I'll see you on the plane. The two sound men that were sitting at this rap party that day had gone into the cameraman's room somehow and mic'd the whole room up for sound. So the two cameramen knew what was going on. She obviously went upstairs to dress for the occasion, if you catch my drift. And the cameraman was just like, I'll take my jeans off, lob it on the desk. The two sound men just went, right, okay, let's go. So they went upstairs with a wine, glug, 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 press play and record, and off the recording went. And it was, well, all I can say, it was... they weren't doing a gym workout in that hotel room, although it was fairly noisy from what I heard on the tape. Very noisy, and well, she had a very potty mouth, albeit posh, but she had a very potty mouth. And this story is corroborated by Drop the Dead Donkey. The not Drop the Dead Donkey. Yes, it was Drop the Dead Donkey. The Sunday night satirical kind of newsroom show, and they used this setup where the one journalist was, having his wicked way with another journalist, and they went into a little sound booth, and he placed her on the microphone, and he was dancing furiously like a fiddler's elbow, so they say. Except when he was, fiddler's elbow, the switch went on, and the whole of the building heard them. In flagrante delicto, which means shagging. So this is exactly the same, except the sound men recorded it on a cassette, and that cassette was copied and copied and copied, and they were at it and at it and at it, and it only came to a conclusion, to a zenith, to a high point when this very cut glass TV presenter turned round and says, "Fuck me till I fart." Quote, directly, because I heard it. And you could hear the sound men laughing from the next door bedroom. The cameraman evidently heard it, managed to get rid of her, and then went in the, "Oi, oi, oi, you two. Yes? What have you been doing?" "Well, nothing, really. We just came upstairs with a couple of bottles of wine. We're just drinking it, and we're going home tomorrow." And, the cameraman didn't know who was married, by the way, as was this TV presenter. And this is legend in TV. If you have anybody that's worked in TV for 40 odd years, they will tell you this story. And she, this very posh TV presenter, or newsreader, that'll narrow it down for you, she still to this day doesn't know it was recorded. And my mate played it to me at TFM in the Northeast. Wouldn't allow the tape out of his eyesight. Wouldn't let me. Wouldn't let me. Stuart says, banging like a barn door in a storm. She definitely did. Luke says, I thought it was Galactus. Windy. Napoleon blown apart. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Blimey. I've just given you a story that ends with the culmination of "fuck me till I fart," Napoleon, and you're talking about scarecrows. Stuart says, I hope she's not watching this now. Oh, wouldn't it be funny? Jan, if you're watching, you can get in contact. The email, joustingarena at gmail.com. Was it screaming? It was. And obviously, you can't really tell that story in polite company. The Bad Wolf Project. I have just Googled BBC Newsreader hotel room. Didn't like what Google returned. Will now spend the next 90 minutes cleaning my search history. Oh, I say. So you see, Bad Wolf Project is corroborating it. If you want BBC Newsreader hotel room, then just it's not suitable for work. But if you're at home, you'll possibly get the name of the newsreader, and also which rock star did she seemingly have a little dalliance with. Can't tell you. He's alive. She's alive. No. Lauren Taylor, wasn't she royal correspondent for, not Jenny, what's her face? No, she wasn't. No. She was just very Galactus. I'm speechless. What a mood killer. I'm sorry, Galactus. We are getting to Starmer. I am going to get to a rant in just a moment, a full balls out rant, because he's turning into the most evil man in this hemisphere. Martin P. Did her daughter sing Murder in the Back Door? No, that's not her. I mean, I can't tell you why you should know, but you didn't see me lips move, and I've told you. Well, I'm polite, and you've just told it. Right. Tocker 69, the Leaning Tower of Pisa? Correct. Wonder if Hugh ever uttered those words. Les, we're going to talk about Hugh Edwards tonight on the live in the next 60 minutes. Leaning in a certain direction. Oh, she definitely was. They were both married. No one found out. No, never. I don't know how they didn't. The respective partners didn't find out. Is she the first month of the year? Yeah. Kia non-starter is running the country. I know, even Stephen. And Lauren Taylor, rodents jumping off cliffs. Cliffs what? Lemmings? Aidan Wellsmith, the newsreader, which is season 3, episode 7 of Drop the Dead Donkey. Is that the one where they accidentally press the button and everybody hears them shagging? As I've said before, I can say that here because it's only... No, you can't monetize that. You've been potty-mouthed. No, people won't want to buy advertising on your videos because you're too potty-mouthed. Oh, is that right? Well, nothing better than telling the truth. It gives you a warm feeling. Normally that's incontinence, but it gives you a warm feeling. It's always the posh ones. Butter wouldn't melt, all along with other fluids. Yeah, all fur coat, no knickers, Burlington Birdie. Fred Barker, Starmer is making Blair look moderate. In fact, Fred, Starmer is making Blair look like an amateur. But they know, because none of this chaos is by mistake. All of this chaos is planned, and they know they only have 4 years left to do their best. And that's why Starmer, he said, I'm going in harder, faster, longer. Sounds like a $6 million man. She can put her legs behind her head. And somebody else's, for that matter, right? Les Griffiths, Blair is running Starmer. Well, did you not see before he was elected? Did you not see Blair interviewing Starmer? And I was like, how can he try to do an interview when I know he's been on the receiving end, so to speak, quite a bit. Aidan Wellsmith says, problem is, we can see from reform, they are going to go in with policies ready, 100 presidential orders on day one, ready. Yeah, exactly. So they're now, reform is being able to change local councils, but the government, I'm telling you. So we'll get on to Labour and Starmer. We'll leave all the rest, jug ears and ego and stuff. And we've got 3 or 4 more questions I want to ask you. But as you can now see, I mean, I know this is before it was before I went to Malta, it was fine. I've come back to Malta and it's kind of, you see, it's reversed. But if you look at the newspapers today, that says last gasp EU demand for 10 years of fishing rights. And there was us. Can you not remember the Icelandic trawlers that used to come into our fishing waters and try to nick our fish? We sent the Royal Navy after those jokers. And it's saying ambush over trawlers hits negotiations on reset deal with Brussels. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Who voted for a reset? And I'm going to tell you how they've done it. Another question. We'll just throw this one in because I want to know. Bad Wolf Project breaking on Sky News. Ukraine war latest. Trump says Ukraine and Russia will start ceasefire talks after 2-hour Putin call. Perfect. Obviously, Sniffy has got enough hotels in Eilat and and BlackRock have got enough of Ukraine for everybody to go, right, it's fine now. I've got enough Charlie with me, and I've got enough hotels, and my missus has got a new Bugatti from Paris, and bags and shoes, so we can foxtrot Oscar and nobody will bother us. We're going to the same plastic surgeon that helped Hitler in the 60s, so it's fine. It's fine, except some of his own army will be on his tail. Galactus. Starmer's response when you beg him to stop what he's doing. I have to go harder and faster. Ask his poor wife. She wouldn't know. Lord Ali, on the other hand. So, if you thought that Southport was bad, and as a collective, we did. We thought it couldn't get any worse than Southport. We knew that they were controlling the media. They knew they were using scare tactics. We just knew. Everybody knew. We knew what the suspect was and is. We knew the situation. And those poor bairns. Everybody in the media forgot the children. It was Starmer and Cooper and Axel Rudikabana. All of those heinous, poor excuses of human beings were the main focus and not the children. It couldn't, in my view, I don't know about yours, but it couldn't get any worse. Check the settings on YouTube and see if there's a mirror front camera setting. If there is, turn it off. I've tried, Stuart. I've tried every which way. I've tried the phone. We've tried the software on the phone. We've tried the software in YouTube, and nothing. I was going to ask you another question. Yes, I was. Now, irrespective of which way you voted for the Brexit vote in 2016, 1 for yes, 2 for no. We're not going to judge, and I'm not going to take you to task whichever way you vote in this next question. But do you want us bollock deep in Europe again? Technical term that we use in radio. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want Ursula von der Leyen to decide what's going to happen in this country? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want Brussels dictating to us what we can and can't do? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want this deviant fuckwit getting us bollock deep back in to Europe when we held a democratic vote in 2016? I know, Bad Wolf Project. It's... So as I go through this and dissect this, I'm going to tell you how he's done this. Because this boy, he's a clever puppy, Starmer. He's a clever puppy. Did you know that he was Director of Public Prosecutions at the Crown Prosecution Service, the CPS? He mentions it every time he stands up at the lectern in the Houses of Parliament. Every single bloody week at PMQs. We get it, mate. What are you trying to say? That you're intelligent. Look, where I'm looking at, you're as thick as pig shit. Because the whole of this country hates you. That's a very strong word, and not many people will use it. But this whole country, apart from some die-hard Labour supporters, and they might actually vote for Jeremy Corbyn over you, they hate you with a passion. They hate your lying. They hate your untruths. They hate that you can't stay with your wife. The rumours are rife about all kinds of deviant fuckwittery, and you're smiling to the camera? Because I've said to you, the viewer of this channel, member of the congregation, what have they got on him that makes him do what he is doing? He is jumping to orders. Now, I know what it is. No, honestly, I'll have my brake pipes cut. It's that serious. I know what it is. It's never going to come out in a month of Sundays. They're going to keep him in place because Ginger Growler's never going to make Prime Minister. Yvette Cooper, 11-1 last time I looked. But most of all, because he's a total scumbag. Caring, understanding 90s type, Des, or scum, sucking pond life. That's closer. Cut to the chase. Starmer is a fanny with ears. I'm not putting mine in there. You can, Les. I'm not. So, Starmer today, as I've shown you, and it's in the... it's also... So that's the Daily Mail. This is the Sun. I wanted you to see this, albeit... Betrayed is slightly different, but it's betrayal all the same. Doesn't matter how it's spelt. Brexit freedoms to be signed away. Europeans under 35 can work here. Starmer accused over EU surrender summit. He's a surrender monkey with the French and the Germans. We were victorious, World War II. 80 years after, he sat there with his wife behind Charles the Weak. And he's been part of the party that took the salute from our armed forces. And he's a surrender monkey, surrender summit to the EU. And look at the shit state of that. Is it a fucking woman or is it just an evil entity? Ursula von der Leyen, bitch. And Starmer, well, that kiss, she knows she's safe. And the Sun saying, don't betray Brexit. He's told what to do. I've told you before. He's been out to Davos. He's had dinner. Dinners have been held on his behalf. And what? They're just trying to ingratiate themselves with the decision maker. He's not the decision maker. Like David Beckham going out to Davos for the World Economic Forum. All over the media. It's in the public domain. As is Starmer. He was asked by... TV journalist, Westminster or Davos? Davos. I mean, it couldn't get any worse for the poor boy. And they're saying, oh, tough talker is a big bluffer. Size Queen. He's evil. Isn't anybody getting this? I told you 2 years ago. Is he scaring you yet? And you thought I was joking. You thought, oh, it's Adrian. It's just being Adrian. He's just... I told you. If I said to you, who's the biggest company? Who's the biggest entity? Who is bigger than most countries' GDP? You would go BlackRock, because you know. And there was BlackRock with Bill Gates in number 10 Downing Street with Rachel from accounts and Starmer standing there smiling and shaking hands. What the... And you know, you can't find out what that meeting was about. Other people have put FOIs, Freedom of Information requests in, and the government's just not telling anybody what the meeting was about. They either didn't take notes, which I think is particularly sus, or they did take notes and they're not telling anybody because they know there'll be absolute carnage on the streets of this country, because you know it's coming. Enoch Powell, Rivers of Blood. It's all going to come home to roost. The chaos is planned. So I will say this to you. And I've said this to you many times. I know that we get more people looking and watching and becoming part of the congregation. I would like you to spread the word. I am, dependent on how much news there is tomorrow, I might do another live tomorrow night and do 3 consecutive days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Just because there's a lot going on and I can't, as much as I'm trying to get as much information to you as physically possible in these lives, I'd be going on for like 4, 5, 6 hours at a time. But I will say this to you. That I told you months and months and months ago, what this government, the political classes, the parasitical classes are doing is they are giving you an answer to a problem you didn't realise you had. And now I will tell you what Starmer has said. He said, our deal, for years, your weekly shop has gone up. No shit, Sherlock. Our deal with the EU will mean lower food prices at the checkout. Solution to a problem you didn't know that you had? Putting more money in your pocket. So, let me give you some context. And the reason I want to give you context is because then you will understand how evil this man is. I mean, I know I've said to you in the past to laugh at him, but you cannot laugh at this evil. I mean, just... So have you seen what the EU has been given? Have you seen what the details of what these clowns have given away? So the EU have cherry-picked. Anyone under 35 can gain access here. So the dinghy divers, anybody coming across on the boats, it's legal. Absolutely legal. They can just walk in here and be given everything, and we can't deport them because they're under 35. Do you understand what they're doing? Starmer, harder and faster after local elections. Now they've got work visas for under 35. So long as they come here, they can stay here. There's no more queues at passport control. Why? So you, and I'm quoting directly from Sir Keir Starmer, his ex account. So you can start your holiday sooner. You can now use e-gates. So here's the answer. How can Starmer do this? I've asked the question before, and I didn't know how he could do this. And the reason he can do this, how can Starmer do all of this and has bypassed Parliament? Because he can call it an international treaty. Let me explain to you. He can use ministerial prerogative powers. However, if someone had the cash to take it to court, and there is precedence in law in this country around this, if someone has the cash to take it to court, the court might find that the treaty's impact on UK governance went too much further than simply the UK's relationship with other countries. And the court might say the agreement has to be put to a parliamentary vote. So he's bypassed Parliament by simply saying this is an international treaty, same as Blair and the treaties of Nice and Rome. Robin Cook, no, the bloody wonder he was... he went with a heart attack, seemingly, before the jibber jabbers were brought in. But he can call it an international treaty and use ministerial prerogative powers. But if it's tested in a court of law, it might fail. And he's saying, we're doing this so you can start your holidays sooner. I would rather stand in a fucking queue at passport control at any country in Europe for hours on end. Why? Because then we would be independent. I would know that this sceptred isle is protected. I would know that the parasitical classes are not getting their own way. I would know I don't care how many hours. I would know that that passport I was handing over was sovereign. So fuck you, mate, and your fucking French dancers, and your German dancers, and your Spanish, and your Portuguese, and all of the European... I mean, if... Europe is to be believed, it's the size of a hemisphere. But I would have a little booklet that says, my country is sovereign. Not you, surrender monkeys. My country is sovereign. And we fought 80 years ago to make sure that was thus. We fought in the First World War. So members of my family were killed 100 odd years ago. First World War. For what? Second World War. 500,000 men of this sceptred isle, this sovereign island, were killed in the Second World War. Not as many as the Russians. The Russians are somewhere up north of 25 million. That passport is our sovereignty. And Charles the Weak, so long as he's getting his cut. So a court could actually say to Starmer, and I'm sure that the clever people in Europe, in Brussels, who just want our money, that look, the major world money comes through the square mile in London. It's independent. The banks are independent. It's not part of this country. Same as the Vatican's not part of Italy. Same as Washington, D.C. There are different rules for different folks. And Starmer is bypassing them all because he thinks he's very clever. Well, I'm telling you this. This country is about to go boom when we find out, and the newspapers might not report it, but when it goes boom, Starmer, his constipation will be cured. And, you know, the clever, the mathematician proctologist won't have to work it out with a pencil. He's told you, quote, putting more money in your pocket. Tell that to the pensioners who didn't get the 300 quid in winter. Tell that to the disabled. Tell that to the elderly. Tell that to me and you who are being shafted left, right and centre. And no, I won't touch me toes for that fucker. Amalia succinctly says, total disrespect for the soldiers gone before us. It's tragic. And all those people that died in the bombing raids from the Germans. And I'm going to tell you something else. And you won't get this anywhere else because I worked this out on my Todd. Have you thought about Australia? Now, you look, it's got a left-wing government. Have you thought about Australia and what Australia has done? So Australia brought all of these immigrants in. And the Aborigines? No status. Literally no status. The indigenous population of Australia as an island race is nowhere. They're a nothing. They're a forgotten about. It's all of the incomers that Australia want. Oh, it comes in threes, Adrian. What about Canada? You ask any Canadian about the First Nation indigenous population in Canada. They're a nothing. They're a nowhere. They're a nobodies. It's all the people moving there. So the First Nation tribes or peoples, Canada's not theirs. It's the immigrants. Oh, as a great Chinese philosopher once says, fuck me. You've now got immigrants coming into this country, and it's only a matter of time before we end up like Canada, we end up like Australia, because that's what Davos wants. They want the indigenous populace of this country, and I can trace my line 1,500 years. I am English through and through, and me, I would fight to protect this sovereign nation, this sovereign isle, this sceptred isle, this island race. They're bringing them in for a reason, and the blueprint is Australia and Canada. It's what Davos are working to. Stakeholder capitalism. Not allowed. We are English, Scots, Welsh, and Irish. They're not going to allow us to do anything. We're going to have to do as we are told. And we are going to be wiped out. We'll become a nothing, a nobody, a nowhere. Nothing. Nobody. There's millions of them, 500 a day coming in. If you wanted in per capita for a year, if you're running at 500, you're looking at 160, 170,000 a year. Now, Blair, evil Blair, who we all thought was possibly the most evil man on the planet or the most evil Englishman ever to have come out, and that includes Jimmy Savile. 1997 he gets into power, and Germany and France Germany said to France and us, look, lads, you're going to have to take more immigrants because we're taking on average 100,000 a year. This is back in 97, 98. You're going to have to take more. We can't have 100,000 come into our country per year because we're just sinking, we're drowning. And at the time, France was taking in about 35,000 a year, and we Brits were taking in somewhere about 22 to 24,000 per year. This is 97. We had to get up to 100,000. So since Blair came in and signed the treaties of Nice and it was the Treaties of Nice with Robin Cook that really put us among the cat amongst the pigeons. But since Blair has just shafted this country. He's taken millions and millions and millions. Oh, he's an envoy to the Middle East. Millions and millions and millions. Envoy to the Middle East. Millions and millions and millions. And now he wants to run the digital ID for this country. Millions and millions and millions. I just want to be a billionaire. So does fucking Meghan Markle. But Jackie Glasgow's nailed it. She says they don't want people who are critical thinkers. That's why this channel and others are the most important. Why? Because I don't sugarcoat it. I don't. I'll tell you it like it is. I believe that you are a critical thinker. That's why you're here. You're searching. You're not going through the mainstream media for your information and your facts. You're coming to people like me who will give it to you. Not sugarcoated, just give it to you. And then you can go away and think about it. Then you can go away and realize what you need to do. Your independence comes from growing your own food and making sure that you have crypto somewhere. Because that's coming. Everything in your bank is going to be turned into a cryptocurrency, an online currency, everything. So it doesn't matter how much you save. The banks are evil, man. They're evil. They're making money out of thin air. That's their job. And you go to a bank manager and go, can I borrow 500 quid to buy a car? He goes, let me think about that. No, don't think about it, mate. 2008, you shafted all of us, all of the banks, and they're all owned. The central banks are owned by the Rothschilds family. I've told you this before. I've told you that there's 5 countries-ish left. The central banks of those 5 countries, Venezuela, Hungary, Iran, North Korea, China, and Russia. They've got Syria now. So there was 7 in all told. But they've got Syria now. They haven't got North Korea, but it will come. Once crypto kicks in, they'll have everything. And have you remembered that the gold story disappeared? It went where? Viv Kenyon says, evening ranting Reverend Rollins. We come to you for the facts. Keep us right. Viv and Darla. Thank you, Viv. I try to. But growing your own food is massively important. If you don't have the knowledge or education to be able to do that, just try it. Look, a local allotment might cost you, I don't know, anywhere between 30 and 50 quid a year. That's nothing. £1 a week, nothing. Money's tight for people, but it's still a nothing. And being able to decide seasonally what you can grow and not. And look, the thing that I hope for you more than anything is if you've got grandkids, get them onto an allotment, show them, get their fingers in the soil and show them how to grow things, because it's generational. They need to be able to pass it down and give them the message, pass this knowledge down. But they'll shut all the council allotments. I'm telling you, if they know that we've cottoned on to what they're up to, the allotments, all of them around the country, will be swallowed up and sold off by the local councils for development. That's funny, Amalia. But I may start doing. Look, I'm in the same position as you. As a boy growing up, I would grow some of my own stuff. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I am keen to give it a go, and I will, give it a go, see where it goes, and if I kill off any of me produce, then I'll understand what I did wrong previous to that, and I'll learn from that. Jackie says, we've got a communal garden. You can't even put a gnome out there without getting nicked. Adrian, there aren't enough allotments and most modern homes don't have adequate gardens. I get it, Les. That's the whole point. That's why they're doing it. So just, as I've said to you previously, keep an eye on Australia and Canada and what they're doing. Now, Mark Carney is running Canada since the last one got turfed out. And there's New Zealand. What's her face got turfed out because, in my view, she was doing too much flour. So I've explained to you how Starmer has been able to get away with this. Rusty's Roamings says, also after the recent Mansion House agreement, the government is going to get its hands on our pension pots to use for investing. I know, thieving bastards. I mean, if you look at Captain Bob seemingly fell overboard. Oh, I say. You didn't see his body, did you? No. So who did they bury on the Mount of Olives that they can't dig up again? Ever? Don't know. Was it a big coffin? Did he suddenly lose 20 stone before he went there? Jacinda Ahern, thank you, Amalia. What's her face has a top job in the WEF? What, Jacinda Ahern? Has she? She's just got some kind of award from the King because, well, it's New Zealand and it's one of the, one of ours. Des Ashton says, the sheeple are so called for a reason. They will follow where and when they are told. Well, you say that, Des, but the last 5 years has taught them some serious lessons. They didn't know that the jibber-jabber that they were taking, that they thought they were doing the right thing. And again, we're not judging. Absolutely, categorically not judging. But people did it for the best of intentions. And now their families are dying en masse. Now, one of the headlines in, let me see if it is... it's not there. No, it's within one of the papers. The headline was that there's more heart attacks happening. There's more heart disease happening in our society. It's on the increase. No shit, Sherlock. We all know why. That's why footballers, fittest athletes on the planet, keel over with heart attacks. That's why some footballers who are now retired have got defibrillators in their own home because they took the jibber-jabber. Yeah, but sadly, the vast majority are still queuing up for their boosters. I know, Amalia. I know. And I'm not arguing with them anymore. I wish them well. Morning. Hope it goes well. Hope you pay for your funeral. Best of intentions. They did it because they were told to. I get that. I'm being gentle with people. I don't want people to suddenly turn up and cut me brake pipes. Boston Brakes technique. That's a very good government's technique. And... there is something that I wanted to get my... Oh, there it's there. Yeah, beauty. I'm going to tell you about Starmer's promises. And what I have done is I've gone through my newspaper archive to just before the election. And some of this I'm going to give to you, but I am going to do a video, a much deeper dive, a more intricate and detailed dive on what Rachel Reeves and Sir Keir Starmer and Ginger Growler and anybody that's in that fucking Labour Party in Parliament. They lied. They lied. They lied. Don't you get that? They lied just to get into power. I know you know that. But Starmer, how can you tell when Sir Keir Starmer's lying? His lips move. Starmer's promises. Well, he shafted the fishermen. He's given our fishing waters, our fishing rights to Europe. And there's landlocked countries in Europe that are going to nick our cod from our fishing rights. He shafted the farmers. I've told you. Control the food, you control a nation. Shafting the fishermen, shafting the farmers, shafting the pensioners, shafting the disabled. Reversing Brexit, cunt. Raising council tax, Rachel Reeves, thieving bastard. Raising taxes, Rachel Reeves again, lovely woman. She's got a massive black hole, seemingly. Raising national insurance, oh, that'd be Rachel Reeves again. Shafting us with net zero. That's that moron, that clown of an idiot who's saying, well, we might give you some money back. You told us that before you got into power, and you haven't, you thieving. Starmer loves him an illegal. He loves the £1,000 of £100,000 of freebies that we know of. Grifter, thieving grifter. And doesn't know what a woman is, but ask him about a Ford Escort. I'll tell you this again. He shafted the fishermen. He shafted the farmers. He's shafted the pensioners. He's shafted the disabled. Do I need to go on? He's reversing Brexit when it was a democratic vote of over 17 million people in this country said we want out of Europe. Remember Southern Ireland? They laughed. Brilliant. All the money came into Southern Ireland and it was the tiger economy and everybody was blooming and blossoming and everybody was doing really well. And then it came to the point where Europe needed, Ireland had a democratic vote to leave Europe. And Europe said, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And the people said, yeah, we can. We're Irish. We can do whatever we want. It was a democratic vote in our country, and that's the end of the story. So Europe pulled all of the money out of Ireland, and Ireland started to struggle. Galactus said, pretty sure Christian Eriksen took the jibber jabber before the 2022 World Cup. Yeah, the footballers were made to take the jibber jabber, which is why his heart stopped on the pitch in Denmark's group stage game. There have been, Galactus, there have been other football players that have just keeled over. Some without taking the jibber jabber, but there have been some. Ray Norton says you can store as much food as possible, but the biggest guy on the street will take it. Yeah? What was I going to say to you there? This is completely... Let's just pause that for a minute. There's something left field happening, and it's kind of just appearing on my radar. Are you aware there was a video doing the rounds of an English guy who was carrying £1,000, and a cop stopped him and said, what you got £1,000 on you for? He said, well, I'm allowed to, it's mine. And they wanted to arrest him and do more investigating because he had £1,000 on him. And then in Spain, people have had £2,000 or £3,000 on them, and the Spanish are kicking off. The Spanish authorities are kicking off. You're not allowed to have 2 or 3 grand in your trouser pocket. And then Germany, it's coming out in Germany. You're not allowed to carry a load of money around with you. I'm telling you what is coming. It's crypto. They're going to make sure that you will not have any fiat currency whatsoever on you or with you or in your home or in your bank. They're going to make sure that they control it all. And as somebody said just a moment ago, what they're doing is they're going to take your savings and they're going to invest it, and they're going to take the profit from your savings and use it for themselves. It's banks creating wealth and money from nothing. Nothing. That's how they operate. But I'm telling you, and I told you before Trump was elected, he's the savior of the world. I'm not looking at his politics. I'm looking at his passion for America first. And we've got a war going on. This is, look, I'm going to give this to you straight. I'm not sugarcoating this. We are at war. It is that simple. The war no longer has bullets and bombs. I mean, even in Ukraine and Russia, they're using drones. But this war that we are fighting is online. This war that we are fighting is against the very people that have got their jackboot on our necks. This war is against the political classes, the parasitical classes, those that are telling us what to do for our own benefit. These are the people that didn't take the jibber jabber. Des Ashton, one word, obey. So the sheeple, maybe the sheeple, but they are being forced to obey. That's what we're doing. So you are the resistance. The people who watch this channel, you might laugh, but I'm telling you, the deeper down this rabbit hole you go, the more you will understand that we are currently at war. It's online, and they are going to shaft us left, right, and centre. Well, I'm not up for that, not even with mega loads of lube. I'm not up for that. Matthew Whedon. Watch Noah's Castle, a 70s show set in the future where everybody had nothing and one man was storing food in his basement. I know. But it's this evil entity that got into power because power was everything. And it's, as I've described to you before about Joe Biden, Keir Starmer is a Manchurian candidate, and a really simplistic view of a Manchurian candidate is a person or politician that's acting on behalf of a foreign power or entity. That's a really simplistic take. But Sir Keir Starmer is a Manchurian candidate. He is working on behalf of the string pullers at the World Economic Forum. He is working on behalf of the left-wing politics, China. I mean, I still don't understand why he's kicking off about Russia. Russia's fucking communist. How can he kick off about communists when they're left-wing and red, dyed in the wool red? I see you. Yeah, Peasant Revolt of 1381, led by, what, Tyler? 1381. Was that a Templars? No, because early in the 1300s, they were all, a lot of them were put to sword and burned at the stake. But Jackie Glasgow says, no. Some friends say, why worry? Why worry? Don't worry. Be happy. I'd rather bang my head against a brick wall for days on end than trust some of the absolute scum-sucking pond life that are in the political classes, that are in the shadows that you never find out about. They just want you to do as you are being told. Jackie says, why worry? We won't be here, as they're elderly, but I'm doing my best to stay alive and keep my grandchildren's heads on their shoulders while they try and brainwash them at school. I made some notes about this. What did I do with them? It was all about Hillary Clinton. And Hillary was talking about children. And she was saying that we need to start having loads of kids. Let me see if I can just find that. Tell you what, while I'm doing that, let's have another question. You ready? Fastest finger first. Question 2. Will you ever watch Gary Lineker again on TV? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Will you ever watch Gary Lineker on TV ever again? 1 for yes, 2 for no. We hear via varying sources that he's off to America and is obviously going to make a shit ton of money. Now, if he's been, well, I'm sure Bill had a few outside their marriage. Bill, I haven't watched Lineker on TV in 5 years, Galactus. No, hell no, never. 2, but not on purpose. Why the question? Because I believe, Amalia, that he's, in my view, he's a very shrewd operator. He doesn't just, let me find, it's kind of, is Gary Lineker an anti-Semite or a shrewd media manipulator? That was the angle that I was going to take. And I can tell you for sure that he said that he didn't realize that the rat emoji was on the post. So I've read the reportage around Lineker, and Lineker is bowing out by mutual consent. Mate, I've been sacked a fair few times, and I understand what by mutual consent means. It's right, Gary, you said this, unacceptable. Do you want to walk or do you want us to push you? So for me, they've given him no option but to walk. He's been sacked, in effect. So he's bowing out by mutual consent. No World Cup. Do we care? Do we bollocks? And his final match of the day this coming Sunday. Bless him. And this is a quote directly from the Sun newspaper today. And yes, I know, I don't trust them as far as I can them. Sandra Whittam says, it depends if he goes to ITV, possibly, but if Sky, no, not got Sky. Gary said he didn't notice the rat emoji. This stinks to high heaven. I think he set this up. He knows exactly what he's doing and how he's saying it. He knows. It stinks. He's either got somewhere to go to, and you know, you don't do anything unless you've got somewhere to go to. And he says, oh, but I remain absolutely devastated. So it means that when he goes to his new place, wherever that may be, but sure as eggs are eggs, he's going to his new place, he'll be able to say, well, I was devastated when I left the BBC, but this is my new home now, and I'm happy as. But Gary Lineker was the highest paid at the BBC, £1.35 million per year. 1.35 million per year, and he's been there 20 odd years. He don't need the money. I don't think he made that much money from being a footballer. Footballers in those days were barely getting 30-40 grand a year. But I didn't notice the rat emoji in the message. So who did it then, you wrong'un? Was it you? Yes. You post your own messages. You didn't. Oh, lesbian fingers, me fat fingers. I have no idea how that happened. You posted it, you moron. He remains absolutely devastated. I'm sure he's bloody not. And then he's the highest paid man at the BBC. 1.35 million per year. No, it stinks, man. It stinks. But they're just playing it out because it's a good distraction from being shafted by the EU, by being shafted by Starmer, by being shafted by the parasitical classes who just tell us, obey. Well, in the words of the great Chinese philosopher, I'm not going to obeying for anybody. What a shite. We'll have another one. We'll go political for this one. Right, I'm being serious now, and I want you to not only just think about this, but be serious in your answer. Because we're looking at a man that doesn't care about whether your children, you or your children or your children's children survive anything. He doesn't care whether you live or die. Absolutely no compassion. There's no compassion in the man whatsoever. That's why he's a fucking barrister, because the barristers are evil. The legal profession, evil. It's just a rich man's plaything. Oh, right. Saw that. Bertie says, can he take all the other smug BBC sport presenters with him? Mika Richards et al. I'm sure if rats fleeing a sinking ship. See what I did there? Didn't know there was a rat in his... Oh, well. Deborah Hart says, pots and pans on a Thursday done me in already. Researched within 2 hours. It was all crap. I'm with you, Deborah. It's when it starts to smell and the a fish rots from the head down. The EU has cherry-picked everything that they wanted from us. And it's a bit like going back to an ex-girlfriend who finished the relationship because you snored too loud. And then you do all the begging to go back. But I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. And then Europe goes, right, you come back on our terms. How about we don't come back and let's have a war, a traditional war? We have nuclear weapons, seemingly. Well, we don't. We have the Americans' nuclear armaments on our land. So to Europe, if you want to go again, we won the first one, we won the second one, and we'll win the third one. You want to go again? Just bring it on, because we're ready. We're always ready. We're born ready. Have you seen the amount of violence on our streets? Have you seen the amount of aggression on our streets? We're just starting. And the Russians that think they're hard, we'll take them on as a little bagatelle just to get warmed up. That's why they're not fighting traditional wars. It's a war online. It's a war. It's a digital war now. And you have to obey and do as you're told. Rusty's Roamings. Amalia, it was a symbol the Germans used for Jewish people in World War II. Soul Rebel, they want another crystal nacht. So I'm going to ask you this question. Question 3 of the night. There is 4. Question 3. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want Starmer removed from office? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want Starmer removed from office? I'm not suggesting it's the devil you know, but just want to see where you're at with it. Because this could be the better the devil you know. Interesting. Good to see you, Pop-Eyed Wazza. Nerdy Birdie. Welcome. Stuart, 100%. Galactus, I think, is speaking for a lot of people tonight. I do, but I really want Labour and Conservative removed from the UK. Deborah Hart goes even further. Says, yeah, 1, get him removed from office and arrested as a traitor. Have him hung, drawn and quartered for treason. I mean, the king can do that. King can do anything he wants. He is Charles the Weak, though. Dan Millennia. Men have been burned at the stake for less. Oh, Tom Harney's makes a good point. Yeah, 1. But does that mean Ginger Growler for PM? She won't get it. She won't get it. She's too rough. English Bottle Cap also says it. Removed from office and prosecuted for treason. Soul Rebel saying, have you seen the front bench? Well, yeah, I do. There's only really Yvette Cooper. And have you seen the dark bags under her eyes? She wouldn't last 5 minutes, I don't think. Ray Norton, breach of manifesto. That's something that I was saying before the general election. Whatever they put in their manifesto should be a legally binding document, because they can't then 6 months down the line go, oh, yeah, well, yeah, we said that, but didn't mean it. Obviously, we were just joking. Jokes. We need a new broom, says I see you. And Galactus, send him to Somalia. No far right in Somalia. Him and his family will be happy there. Yeah. Somalians won't bugger about. Solitary confinement for the rest of his life. Unless he can have somebody drive the Ford Escort round. A lot of his party are against him, I think. They are in the back. Jackie, they know that literally Labour are going to be eviscerated. They're going to be sanitised and wiped out at the next general election, as are the Tories. The people of this country, they know. Look, politics is operated by focus groups. So they will be having focus groups and asking, would you vote for Keir Starmer again? What do you think of Labour? What do you think of the Tory party? Are the Tory party finished? They'll operate by focus groups. That's how they get. So are potholes a major thing for you? Is that something that you would vote or not vote for? Reg D, triggers broom. Brilliant. Jackie Glasgow says we need a revolution. This is going to, I think what's going to do for the EU today, it's going to do for Starmer. Because 17.5 million spent months thinking about this and working out whether they wanted to be out of Europe or in Europe. 16 odd million. I think there was 1 million in between the two votes, and that's just off the top of my head. But we've got a situation where people that voted are now being told, your vote is null and void, and we will decide whether we are in Europe or not. And we will organise it and negotiate it so you can foxtrot Oscar with your votes. Scum-sucking pond life. And don't talk to me about the namby-pamby pinko liberals. I mean, Ed Davey, on me Ed, he's mad. Every time he stands up in Parliament on PMQs, he's over-egging that particular pudding. Yes, I'll have 5 minutes, thank you. I'll have 5 minutes. I'll waste 5 minutes camera time telling you that I'm worried about the care system in this country. Again, Ed? Again? Pensioners are being shafted. Farmers are being shafted. The fishermen are now being shafted. No wonder all of the work at the ports around the fishing industry is not an industry anymore. And have you seen the size of the fucking trawlers that they're using, these foreigners? No wonder there's hardly any fish left. Les says, that which we cannot rule, we will burn down around us. Remind me, who said that? Well, a narcissist will burn the country down just to rule it. Rusty's Roamings, it makes you wonder what other votes they will reverse in the future. It's a scary prospect. Oh, I'm sure if you look at America, if America can cheat, so can every other single political country and party around the world. Marley says, I'd love to be a fly on the wall of 10 Downing Street in one of their cabinet meetings. They're all just blowing smoke up each other's arses. Maybe that's why they need a Ford Escort. Deborah Hart says, I agree, but the replacements I worry about, I think leaders are expecting revolt. Those replacements will be given orders. Of course they will. It's about, the money's all in the square mile. 2008, you didn't hear any of the banks in the square mile go, don't worry, lads, we've got loads of gold. And then Fort Knox, I was going to ask you this about earlier. Fort Knox, all that gold. They've not seen it since 1974. Tricky Dickie's probably nicked it on his way out. So they had to borrow some gold from the square mile to make it look like there was gold in Fort Knox. They're evil. Evil. That's why I'm trying to layer it so that you've got your eye on Canada, you've got your eye on Australia, and watch what the political classes are doing there, because they're both controlled by the World Economic Forum, Bilderberg Group, Rothschilds. The funding's coming from somewhere, and the United States Agency for International Development gave WEF $32 million last year. Now you know how they're making the money. But when Elon Musk, and he's been very, very quiet this last 4 weeks, very unusually quiet considering the first 100 days. If Doge hadn't gone in there and worked out what they were doing, then those politicians and political parties or NGOs would still have been grifting all the millions, tens of millions, if not billions of dollars out of the Americas. Jackie Glasgow, yes, I did. Can't mention him here, process of law. But that's why I'm aware of a Ford Escort. Can't mention it. 3 people have been arrested. Can't talk about the case. And that's one. Again, angelic inspirations. I would rather be a fly swatter on the wall, an invisible one. Oh, can you imagine the fun? I was going to say to you earlier that no, I'll leave it till another live. Angelic inspirations. Carney looks as evil as Blair. Well, he's head of the... Look, the Bank of England, they were very clever in calling it the Bank of England. It's not the Bank of England, it's a private company. It's like the Fed in America, it's a private company. The bankers make money out of nothing. They keep finding ways. Darren Bradbury says, lucky Alberta, they've got a chance to break away from Carnage Carney. I know. Final question. And then we'll talk about a couple of other things, about another 10 minutes or so. So don't worry if you're thinking I'm going to be going all night again. Question 4. Is Joe Biden the worst American president ever, in your view? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is Joe Biden the worst American president ever? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Wow. President Shitty Pants. I think he'd shit his pants if he saw all your votes. Wow. To everyone that's voting, thank you for your votes. Kaz, Lauren Taylor, Mr. Blaugeist, Catwoman Jones, Manda Sky, Pop-Eyed Wazza, Galactus, Abby. Well, apart from English Bottle Cap, Bush Jr. is the worst. He killed more Americans, but then again, so did Barack Obama. It's just that the man can hardly string a sentence together. And what they've said today is that Joe Biden has aggressive prostate cancer. How? Now, I've heard rumours that he was dead. And I know some people laughed at me when I said that. But did you see the amount of people that were wearing masks that were purported to be him? So it would make sense if they go, oh, he's got aggressive cancer, well, he's going to die. And then 2 weeks later, he's dead. Everybody goes, oh, well, dead men can't lie. I'm sure the prostate examination was a bit of a surprise. Do you want some ice cream? Oh, yeah, bugger. Do you want 2 fingers? I'm not talking about your ice cream. Here, there's a little girl. Sniff her hair while we're... Oi, 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 oi. And now they're saying, oh, he's got aggressive prostate cancer. It's now spread to the bone. That's metastasized, it gets. Metastasized means it's spread everywhere. But he's prostate cancer. Deborah Hart, Hillary's dead. That's what I was going to talk about earlier. Hillary is in a video that I saw earlier and basically saying, yes, everyone needs to have more children. because you're going to wipe humankind out. But the Georgia Guidestones says 500 million people. That's all that needs to be populating the earth, 500 million people. And there's Hillary having a wobble trying to get into a van. What, not much adrenochrome going around nowadays? You know how they get adrenochrome, don't you? They scare the bejesus out of children. They become adrenalized. And then they kill them and extract it. And if you don't think that we're being ruled by evil, go down that adrenochrome rabbit hole. Bush Jr. introduced the Patriot Act. I know, English bottle cap. USA, USA, USA. On September the 11th. And I'm thinking, why would they be shouting that if they've just had a terrorist attack that's just blown one of the towers up? USA, USA. And then Bush Jr. Goes to New York. Why were they getting people to hector the workers that were there when thousands of people died? USA, USA. Let's get into a war. You know that there were trillions missing from the Pentagon. You had Donald Rumsfeld the night before 9/11 say, lads, there's trillions gone missing. 9/11, everybody forgot about the dollars going missing. And then there was the pipeline deal from the Caspian Sea down through Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan to a warm water port in Pakistan and the Tora Bora mountain range where seemingly the terrorists were. But for anything, it was the CIA. The CIA built Osama bin Laden's cave system because he had to have dialysis. He had to have kidney dialysis. So he's shagging sheep and goats in a fucking mountain range where he can't get dialysis. The CIA knew exactly where he was. Yeah, it was a couple of trillion. Thank you, English bottle cap. He couldn't account for $2.3 trillion in transactions. So then you get 9/11, and then within 3 days, the American government allowed another $48 billion to go to the armed forces. $48 billion in a we're going to go to war, so we need to fund that. And then within a week, Bush Jr. had Putin at his ranch. And, we have to ask this question. How old is Vladimir Putin? How the hell is he like 25 years down the line and he still looks 40? So Hillary is in amongst all that shite that's floating around. She just wants adrenochrome to make her look younger from the videos that I've seen online. But how they get adrenochrome is just seriously evil. And there's her daughter, Chelsea, multimillionaire. How did that one work then? And there's Bill. The Epstein list still not coming out. Galactus Adrian, watch the sequel to Kubrick's The Shining, Doctor Sleep. It covertly broaches the cult of adrenochrome. Does it? No wonder. I believe Stanley Kubrick was taken out. Have you seen, and I'm going to watch it at some point this week, Dr. Strangelove? Because everybody thought it was a comedy. Oh, it's got Peter Sellers in it. It's a comedy. Oy, 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 oy. Really? Have a watch of that. Carney won't put a pipeline from west to east. Madness. Of course he won't. Mark my words, mass arrests are imminent across the pond. Looking forward to it, Les. Really looking forward to it. Hope Hillary's one of them. Hope Bill's one of them. I hope that anybody, and Gates. Oh, Gates has come out on, was it Thursday or Wednesday? He said, I'm a philanthropist and all my money I'm going to give away in the next 20 years because I won't be around. Les Griffiths, Kubrick was unalived because of Eyes Wide Shut. It's a great movie, but you know something? My DVD copy is different from the current DVD copies because there's more shit in it. And I'm sure that Kubrick was aware of what the elite do. Des Ashton says, you can't fight in the war room. You've obviously seen it, Des. I mean, I can't remember it. I remember Peter Sellers. But it's I'm going to give it another look. And Cuban Pete, I'm with you. Have you watched episode 8 of Mobland yet? I do hope everybody gets to see it, because Tom Hardy is... episode 8, there's a load of twists and turns. And it's building. And the director, Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren are superb. I mean, Pierce Brosnan, he's just like, he's Bond, always will be Bond. Smooth, good looking. But in this, you just can feel the evil within Conrad. Guy Ritchie, thank you, Alan. It's been a long live tonight. I need to build up me stamina. Probably going to do another live tomorrow night. So everybody that's watching now, please smash the likes if you can, please. I really would appreciate it. And if you want more, then we'll do some more 7 o'clock, same time tomorrow night. I'm not finishing just yet. I just want to acknowledge a few people. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul were the best series in my opinion. Thank you, Abby. Yeah, I'm with you. I've watched all of Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul, I think I watched the first couple of series, and then it was just, I think they were writing it on the fly. But I promise you, Tom Hardy is the Cray twins. Oh yes, absolutely, Vix Tex. But he's taking it to a whole new level. There's no, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it's going to a whole new level, and it's got more twists and turns than Brands Hatch, this series, and there's only 2 left, and it's it's another 2 weeks. Andrew James says, sorry Rev, I'm late. I'll watch the video after the stream. Thank you, Andrew. Hope you had a good weekend and with your charity work. Yes, I'll kind of round off this particular live by saying that if anybody feels they need some support, and it's just talking, it's not none of this, it's not kind of tree hugging hippie shite at all. It's just men being there in support of other men when, you know, they're falling down. And mental health is a real struggle at the moment. But just go and have a look at the Mankind Project website. It's got enough on there for you to get what it's about. And I'm very much happy to be involved with them on lots of different levels. But I believe it's something that's needed in 2025. Mankind Project, there's also a Band of Brothers, and there's other organisations for men, because we're being told, and I think it's very unfair, we're being told that our masculinity is toxic. That message has been here since the 80s, and it's misogynistic, and it's not. We are men, we're not women. And men need certain things. And just being in the company of men, look, it used to be that a man would go down the pub, you would turn right to go in the lounge, you would turn left to go in the lounge, right to go in the bar. It was a space for men just to go and have a few jars and talk to all the men. I was at the wife again, yeah. The barmaid would, barman, or barmaid would you know, was an advice columnist. But in today's Mankind sounds like a really good project. It is Angelic Inspirations. It's wonderful. It's amazing. And men are just supported in their manliness. And what our children need are men to turn up as men, not in a frock, not by a politician that doesn't know what a man is or a woman is or any kind of human being is, or being told by politicians and organisations, you can't do that. Well, I'm telling you, I can, and you can fuck off because you're evil. I'm not. I'm in support of other human beings. That's why I do this theatre of the mind. That's why I try and bring you facts and facts and facts. And I want to spread that message to other people who may have fallen down, who may be dealing with substance abuse or mental health. But either way, we're humankind. And we need to support each other through this, because if we don't, we're just going to end up in a proper panshite, and we're going to end up with evil ruling. We can't allow that to happen. That's why I do these for you. Because then you know there are people that think like you and act like you and are worried like you and want the best for your community, your family, and your nation. Because we're catching them out now. Because we have somewhere free to speak, X. And we're free-ish here as much as possible. Vix Text men need their own spaces too, yeah. There are women's organisations, and I think they're both men and women's organisations are very healthy because what's the I learned a lot from reading a book called The Red Tent. For the women that are on this live tonight, there is a book called The Red Tent, and it is beautifully and fantastically descriptive of how women used to. So we have nurses and NHS and midwives. 2,000 years ago, it was a couple of bricks, and there we go. The midwife would catch the bairn as it came out in the middle of the desert. Women have always looked after women, not men, as in men looking after women. Yes, of course, we're the protectors. That's what we men are. We don't have toxic masculinity. That's a message that's been promulgated for the last 50 years. No, we don't. We protect everybody and everything that needs protecting. Whether it be our home, our wife and kids, family, friends, we are the protectors. Women, in my very simplistic view, are the supplicators. Women are the sacred feminine, but there's women within. If you want to go and have a look at their website, there's women in power, I think. But MKP, Mankind Project, and/or a Band of Brothers, superb organisations, charities that look after men. And it's amazing how men can be and change in the company of men. They can just be themselves. If you're cracking an inappropriate joke, you're not going to be judged. If you're worried about, life, the big questions in life, if you're worried about protecting your family, your home, or your job, or you're struggling with various things, this organisation, for me, is refreshing to allow men to be men in the company of men. Ray Norton says, feminism destroyed roles. I agree. Book, after tonight's sermon, I need a stiff one. Go and see Keir Starmer. I'm sure he'll oblige. Lauren Taylor, it's bloody insulting to me. I have a father, a brother, a son, nephews and late husband. Best man ever. I love men. I won't take that out of context, Lauren, but I'm not going to repeat it because people will snip it and go, he loves men. But I can't look. A man can't be a woman, and a woman can't be a man. As much as really butch lesbians trying to be men, they're never going to be men ever. And as feminine as some men try to be, they're never going to be women. Just, I've had 4 days of wonderful company, of not having to edit myself or check myself, or worried if I was going to upset someone, or worried that somebody might take it the wrong way. If I'd said something and somebody didn't like it, we would just deal with it there and then. There are processes, there are tools that we have for accountability. There are ways that we do things, and it's a learning. It is a learning. But I love the Mankind Project and everything that it stands for. And I do hope that there are loads of other organisations out there for women, as I say, and other men's organisations. It's like martial arts. You find the martial art that speaks to your soul. And for me, Mankind Project speaks to my soul. So I gave 4 days of my time without pay or without, I got the soccer, and that's SUCC before you say anything. I got my gift from being with like-minded men. And this also has to be talked about more. The message has to be put out there. So it's a mixed up, messed up, muddled up world. Thank you, Burlington Bertie. Angelic Inspirations. I would like a virtual tour of the real Vatican. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I've been there. I've seen it. And also, I'm traveling down south to, I don't really know where it is, but it's something called the Silver Sky Festival. Where you can get taster of. I'm a Reiki master and a student of Shiatsu and Tuina, traditional Chinese medicine, and QT, which is quantum touch from America. It's another energy modality. So there's lots of. I don't go, I'm a man of God in my white fronts. I actually get bollock deep in it and help other people. Darren Bradbury, I can't walk out the front door without women falling in love with me. Just as well, Darren, because if it was Keir Starmer and other men, you'd soon be shouting, you're wrong. Right, we'll round this tonight's live. I know it was a last minute thing, but I decided that because you hadn't had your fix of truth last night, that I would kind of do it tonight. So you got a little bit, and I'm probably going to do another live tomorrow, but that's up for negotiation with others who need to be negotiated with. And then Wednesday we'll do a usual live, so you'll get a little bit more extra this week. And I leave it succinctly with Des Ashton. I am a man, I cannot be a woman. I just wish the Wogarati would kind of... But they wanted... we'll talk about it tomorrow night or Wednesday, whichever one. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. Please smash the likes on the way out. Really would appreciate it. We've got lots so far. We've got nearly 180 people viewing. So if you could, it would be really appreciated. Just in case, keep your eye open on both X and here. I'll drop a note saying whether there's going to be a live or not. Hugs and kisses. Good night all from Des Ashton. Steady. Do an all-night live some night. Oh, Stuart. Well, I do those political stuff till 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's... that's a testing one. But yes, of course. Yes, of course. Thank you to everyone that's been here on the live. I really appreciate your views and your votes and what you've been saying. And Amanda Sky, thank you. Another great live tonight, Adrian. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, definitely Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Wherever you go, whatever you do, be well, stay safe, and don't forget the bloody Battenberg, man.